Hello everyone, Drayien here, and I'm going to teach you how to work with OBS software system for recordings and live streams. Now at the moment everything's all dark and black, I understand, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you something you can look at. First, when you go into it, you're going to have a giant window here. See? Now this is what happens when I do the setups. Okay. All right. Now you can see what I'm talking about now. You have this whole window right here. All right. So basically, you're gonna right now. You see in the source box two different sources. The audio input, which is what I've got right now, is what is allowing me to talk to you. There's another one here. Display capture is what you're seeing right here in this whole box. Now you can have different options going on right here. In order to add more sources to your scenes, you're gonna want to click the plus button. You got a whole list of stuff you can add. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add a text. I know this is out of line, so I'm not going in order to show you all the details. I'm mainly showing you the stuff that I know for now. I'm hoping to learn more so I can teach more. But for right now, I'm going to show you what I do know. Now, this is the text source. Now, you're going to have some fonts here, and you can select different ones. Like you have a nice little list. Now, the Arial is the typical normal one for the time now. It used to be Times New Roman, but they did change it. So let's keep it simple for now. You got different effects you can do. You can do strikeout. You can do an underline. You can do any kind of writing system. Right here, you can have different languages, different everything that you need. So that way it's not you're gonna be stuck with only one language. It's really versatile in that fact. But once again, we'll keep it simple with Arial. Alright, here in text box you can do the read from file, which you can pull up the information right there and it'll be available to you, or you can type it in like I'm going to do. Okay, if you want your message here to have color, you can select color right here and you have a nice little assortment of stuff you can use. Now for the background I'm going to be having here for my right now desktop, it would be easy for me to go ahead and click the red, but you can choose different types of color depending on what you're wanting to do for your live streams or for your recordings, depending on what you have set up. Some stuff is easier to see than others, but it all matters on what you're doing. Or sometimes if you want to just have fun, you can do that too. You can also have custom colors where you choose specific colors you want to add to the color palette that's already up here for the basic colors. You can have different colors. Supposedly there's a way you can have it where it's two different colors and have a nice little effect for it. You can do all sorts of neat little things. You can do all sorts of neat stuff with it. It's pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and have the basic red because that seems to be able to pick up where I want to put it. So we'll hit OK for that one. So it's going to show up really small in the upper left-hand corner, and I'm going to drag it down to the lower right-hand. Now the cool thing about these is that you can place these anywhere. So if I want it right here in the middle, which to me is kind of sad, you can place it right here. It's pretty versatile on where you want to put it. Now when you want it up against the wall or in a corner, the little bubbles that you see right here will immediately snap right onto the wall or to the corners. It makes adjusting a lot easier if you want to do that, and it makes it simpler for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next source that I know. Let's do a media source. Now, a media source, I've got two different ones at the moment. Now, I'm sure there's plenty others. You can probably check out videos on how to really get involved with that. But for the moment, I've got a still picture that is a GIF, and I've got a moving one that's also a GIF. Or a GIF, however you want to pronounce it. Everybody's different. Tomato, tomato. Some people with OCD tend to get a little upset by this, but you know what? For the sake of this here video, it's however I want to say it. But the point still remains. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about for the still and the moving. All right, right here is my still one. Now I was at the time looking around on how to draw a dragon so I can do it for myself and teach myself how to really get more involved in the art. And I didn't realize this was a GIF. But when you once you browse through your stuff and you finally select what you want, you always want to make sure you have it on a loop. Because if you do not, it's going to go through its whole cycle and it'll end. So you click OK. Now you're going to see there's a small box right here. There is a way to stretch it. At the moment, I'm not 100% sure as to how. I'm sure. Okay, full screen projector source. Display. Whoop, that's not what I wanted. Sorry. Did not mean for that to happen. Well, for the moment, I'll go ahead and use the little bubbles, which will allow me to stretch it or shrink it. But I'd have to move it in place a lot. See what I mean? That can become a background. You can adjust it however you want. Hang on. Now the only drawback to that is that it'll hide everything that I'm doing to teach you folks how to do this. So at the moment, what I can do is I can bring it back up, scale it back, because it is a great background to use. But at the moment, this is not what I want. So give me a second. It's really good at masking things. Oh, that's not what I want to grab the little bubble. But yeah, it's very good at making a background if you don't want everybody to see your computer going on or what have you. So that way, if you have a custom hand-drawn one, if you have a specific thing you want back there, that could be your backdrop for your live streams or your recordings, what have you. Now, the cool part about this is that you don't have to have it as a still like that. You can actually make this one into the one that moves. Now, for the moment, I'd have my text buried underneath that. If you want that to be seen, you always have to move it up to where you're satisfied. For me, it'll be just wherever I can see it. And it's really neat. Now, for the media source, if you don't want the still and you have one that moves, you click Properties, which is that circle. Back to browse once again, but you have to make sure it loops. Otherwise, it's going to go through its full cycle and stop right there, and it'll not move around until you make it so. Now, usually when I do this, it's really small, but for some reason it showed up as really big. So I've got to shrink it down to size, and I want everybody to be able to see the full size of it when it's in the corner. The interesting thing is that it does snap into place. So it can make adjusting a little bit interesting. Okay, well, this will work for now, even though I'm not too happy with it running over the one letter. But I'll adjust the size of it later. So that is literally my moving part, my name title, right there. I could probably have the text right above it. So it looks like the moving picture, the movement behind it is where the creature's moving on the sand on the background, or my backdrop in this case. Which is kind of neat, but not what I was looking for. Alright, so on to the next thing. let's go ahead and do a video capture device. Now this one, if you want to have a little webcam going on with your live streams or for your recordings, you can do this. Not everyone wants to, because there's some people that are shy. Now I have a Steam account, and in there is this nice little software called FaceRig. FaceRig is way different. Basically, you can choose different types of things. It's really neat, very versatile. You don't have to have your face right there if you don't want it, and you still want people to recognize who you are. Some people have made their own little FaceRig images. Now let me go ahead and shrink this little thing so you can somewhat see what I'm doing. It's not going to pop up at the moment because I do not have Steam activated. So let's go with what we do know that is available to us. Okay, I've got myself on here. Alright, now this is the built-in computer webcam. Now you notice how much weird lag this is producing? Because you cannot see my fingers as they're moving around. Now, which I've had this system like this for quite a while. So just recently, I decided to go ahead and purchase a Logitech webcam for myself, and it's really neat. I've already got it plugged in. I'm hoping this time it works again. It's rather interesting. It's like $50 worth of device. It's not that bad. That's the cheapest that I've found so far. There are others that are better, for probably cheaper, but you know, this is what I found, and I'm happy with it. I'm going to show you why I'm super happy with it. Now this is the built-in for the laptop I've got going. This is the webcam, Logitech HD webcam. So much better. You can see my hand movements much easier when I'm opening and closing them. Super easy. Really cool. And the FaceRig thing is kind of interesting too, but you know, whatevs. I'll probably do another separate video on that. Alright, so we'll go ahead and use our Logitechs for the moment. Now, here's the interesting thing, and I learned this yesterday when I was working with my with this program. If you don't like what's behind you and you want a giant green screen, which I'm going to be having soon, and you don't want everyone to casually just see the fact that you're wherever and you don't want it to be a giant distraction or a giant nuisance, because look how much revenue this little setup right here I've got is taking. I'll go ahead and show you a better way of doing that. So we go over to filters. Once again, you see the giant revenue. Alright, so we go ahead over to effects filter. We go ahead and add that one. You can have a nice little list of stuff you can variously do to help make it a lot easier for yourself. Now, chroma keys, not everybody is quite familiar with them, or if they are, you know, cool. So let me show you what chroma key can do for you. Alright, you pretty much have the green screen effect using this. Now you can change it to say blue, magenta, or you can have your own custom colors. Now sometimes that can be a little tricky depending on where your setups are. But generally green is the best neutral color you want to use, because some stuff blends in way too much than other stuff. Green is completely neutral. If you want to try for a red, you can. But green is most widely used and it's easy to work with. I've got a nice little example of that neutral color. Oh, I'm sorry. Give me a second. Let's change this back down to not, so you can see it. Now, it looks a little weird right here for the color, but when you look at it in person, it's about close. it's about the typical green that you can find. You can find this over at Walmart. You can find it at Crafts Place. The tricky part you're gonna run into every single time. How much can you fill up this backspace? What I've got here, not enough. It looks like it is because I can cover up the whole screen right here because I'm super close. Now, if I was further back to where I want it to be, it's not enough. So eventually, I'm gonna figure out what best way to get the measurements and get that fixed, so that this all of here is covered up. You don't see that. Now let me show you what the green screen can do for us. So go back to the defaults, if you'll do it. Okay, so I mean, everything disappears. It is really trippy. See what I mean? If you get too much of it, too much saturation is enough. Alright, so we got about, I guess we can change this to 0, 400. Now what's going to happen is when you pull the green cloth up, it's going to turn gray. Woo! Alright, we'll go ahead and hit close. Okay, let me zoom this up real quick for you. And then I get to show you what that green screen effect does. Alright, ditch the chair. Yeah, that's noisy. Now, I've got the green screen. Part of my shirt's doing it too. Now, what's going to happen is a section of me is going to outright disappear. And you're just going to see what's in my background. So, check this out. Green screen. A lot of fun once I open this up. Gone. Gone. I am. You know, you have it stretched out, you will literally disappear. So it's really fascinating. Really fascinating stuff. See? Completely gone. Well, you can still see some of the fabric movement. But you kind of get the point. Everything disappears. Now, what's cool about it is that I can place my hand right here and it will not disappear. So it looks like I'm in front of my screen here. It's really neat. Really super neat. So that's the green screen for you. Sorry, you end up seeing just my top half. I'm getting my chair. Ha! So, green screen all the way. Woo! See? You see some of it. So that disappears. That was neat, huh? I think so, sir. Let's see, I'm cleaning the windows. I'm cleaning my window. Cleaning my window. Well, that fun's over. So that's what the green screen does. Now eventually I'm going to have enough to actually cover the back behind me. So all this gone. And it'll look like I'm part of the game. Really neat. Really neat. Okay. So we got that out of the way. I'll go ahead and make this a lot smaller. Place myself down here somewhere. Sorry, I do have little ones.